Welcome to the big show.
He could go all the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
What's up? What's going on, PFA Nation, and also my rundowners in the building. I am, as always, Chris Cousins, and this is my man to my left, the puppet master himself, Mr. Brien Mitchum, holding it down over in Florida. And this is episode 43 of the rundown. Man,
43.
It's 43. We're almost to 50, Brian. We're almost to a pinnacle point.
Almost.
In our podcast lives here. But hope you all are enjoying your Sunday before we gear up for another work week. You know, Mondays are no fun days, but Sundays, they are fun here at the PFA, and they're fun here for Pro Advancement Football as we recap all the action from yesterday. And boy, was there some action that went down yesterday. Big thanks for you guys for tuning in. And don't forget, make sure you like and subscribe and follow the pages, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, so forth and such on. We love having you here on the show. As always, the rundown is brought to you by the PFA, Players Football Association, for the players, by the players. Brian, man, how you doing this evening, man?
I'm doing great, Chris. We wrapped up week 5 of the last night of the season. And, man, like you said, what a weekend of games. We've got a ton to dive into tonight. Like Chris said, hit that like button and subscribe to the show, to the channel. Follow us on all the social media platforms. We are just about on every platform, so no excuses for that.
So, Brian, yesterday, just to get off a little subject, what games did you tap into for, like, did you literally watch? You know, I know we all watched the main one, but what did you were able to catch anything else yesterday?
I was not. I took my wife and daughter out to the movies to see the Final Destination Bloodlines, and we were at the movie theater. It was pretty good, pretty gory and gruesome. So it was pretty good.
Was it worth paying to go see, or could you have waited?
And we spent $60 on those tickets. Three movie tickets. Could have waited, and then $40 on popcorn, 2 drinks, and candy. But
$40 on, that's crazy, man.
It was a family night, family date night, and that was a lot of money to spend on a movie. But you know, it's okay. Once in a while, it's not a big deal. But so I didn't really get to pay attention to any of the games that were going on before the big game because I was trying to be in the moment with my family. So unfortunately, I didn't get to see those games, but I did get home and I did watch the Racine game. Obviously, that was the game that everybody was waiting for. So,
I mean, I got to watch a little bit. Unfortunately, you know, I was tapping in with Joe because I'm here in Columbus right now. I was tapping in with Joe with the Ohio Bears in the Cincinnati Hawks game, and I was going to swing by there because I had to go to a graduation myself. I actually did see a movie, but I unlike you, you know, kind of pirated it. You know, I stayed at the crib.
I'm about to go back to that system of pirating movies here.
I stayed at the crib. I watched Sinners.
Okay.
Good movie. Didn't pretty much care for the ending, but I was here for, you know, the antics that they had up in there. But other than that, I definitely watched. I knew everybody was watching the big game. I knew you were going to watch it. I knew I could catch, you know, the highlights and things of that. I watched the Motor City Rams game. And let me tell you, I can't wait till they put a highlight tape together because we can literally make a top plays just off of that game.
Like, well, I hope they're listening. I hope the Rams are listening and they get that done and send us some clips. I don't care. It could be 20 clips. We'll use them for the next 3 weeks to make plays of the week.
But we do have a stacked show tonight. We'll recap all the Week 5 action, break down who's rising to the top as the standings start to take shape, and later on we'll be joined by none other than last year's 3A MVP, Detroit Ravens quarterback, Mr. Torrence Webster, plus from the Indy Bison, the number 1 team in the PFA as the standings are currently holding. Rocket Romeo Perry Sr. will be stopping by as well a little later in the show. And all that more coming up. But first, you know what we got to do. We got to pay some bills, and we'll be right back after this.
And you watching the rundown.
And welcome back to the Rundown. As always, the Rundown is powered by Trinity Trifecta, the official uniform provider of the PFA teams. For all your uniform needs, athletic apparel, visit Trinity Trifecta. Eventually, everything connects. But big shout out to everyone in the chat right now. I don't know. It's not kind of where's it at? No, not really much people in the chat right now. But big shout out for who's watching. If you're in the chat, drop your name and your team and where you're from. Represent yourself, as our buddy from National Players Association always says. We can shout you out on the air and get him, talk to you a little bit. So, but Chris, let's not waste any time. Let's jump into these Week 5 recap, man. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it, man. Like I said, this was a good week. I mean, a good week for PFA football. First game up we got is the Indy Bison. The Michigan Bills traveled down to the Indy Bison, down to their home field. And unfortunately, I mean, we both called this, Brian. The woes kind of continue for our Bills Mafia. We're still with you in hearts, but we both kind of knew this was going to happen. The Indy Bison are just rolling right now. Ever since the loss that they took at the MFOC clinic to the Cowboys, they've been full steam ahead. I don't know if Coach had a talk with them or grind hard, gave them some new jerseys. I don't know. But whatever they've done since the MFOC, it has literally they've been playing lights out football, and the Michigan Bills just happen to be another team standing in their way. And they end up being the score. I watched some of the highlights earlier from this game, Brian. Turnovers by the Bills, and Montrez was everywhere. Okay, not just passing, because he passes from this player to this player, but he was using those legs. Okay,
which he does a lot.
Those legs this game, and he was getting jiggy. Okay, it was some good highlights. Shout out to Grind Hard. Make sure I get that, man. Make sure I get them clips, because we definitely want to put some of those in top plays, because there was actually one clip, man. He shook two people with one move. It was outstanding. So again, Bison, they're on a mission. I feel like they're on a mission to prove that what happened at the MFOC might have been a fluke. You know, Matt Petty didn't play their best game. You know, the better team won that day, but they're trying to show that they're the better team at the end of the season. And that's why they're ranked number 1 right now.
Chris, I had a feeling the Bison were gonna give the Bills a tough time, but 30-8 was not what I thought it was going to be. That's definitely a statement win for the Bison. The Bison are locked in right now. They're not just winning; they're dominating. They're rolling over anyone who lines up across from them. And I don't have a full stat sheet from them yet, but I bet good money that Montrezl Harrell, their quarterback, had another big night, like you said. Obviously, it sounds like he did. He's definitely a front runner for the MVP candidate up there with Torrence Webster. Actually, they're back neck and neck with each other as far as yards, passing, touchdowns, and I think the Montrez was leading in rushing at one time for the 3A. I don't know if he is now right now, but starting this week, the top league leaders are going to start getting tight because we're going to start clamping down on a lot of stuff. So
and I think that's what we were trying to tell people too, Brian, when we first came out with those stats. Were like, some of these teams hadn't played the same amount of games yet.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, some of these teams haven't played the competition that some of these other teams have played via look at the scores and the stats within those games. So now some of these teams are starting to play some teams where, you can, shoot the stats up a little bit, get yourself some. And the Ravens did that last week against the Rapids, shot Torrence way up there. So now we're getting to the thick of it. Dante Hart says that Grindhard needs to send us the Bison shirts. I agree.
That's true, Dante. I need to add to my collection of Bison shirts. I only have one, so I would like to have another one.
I agree with that message. We need some Bison gear immediately. I need all gear from all PFA teams. Okay. Shout out to my Hawks for hooking me up with the shirt. You got to send Brian one. That was the deal.
I'm still waiting. Week. Amanda said, let me get your address. But Amanda, I haven't heard anything yet. So,
but I'm not gonna lie to you, Brian. Like I said, we did both call this game the way, and I will say this. I also said in the Bills' defense, it wasn't going to be too much of a blowout. Yes, 30-8 is a whooping, but it's not 56. It's not 60.
At one point in the game, when we were getting updates, the Bison were up 8-0, and then it just snowballed from there. So I mean, the Bills were holding on for a little bit. I think
this is what we expect. I'm not even gonna lie. This is what we expected. We knew that the Bison were going to win. It was just up to the Bills to show up or not show up, and putting 8 points on the board, not getting that donut put on you. Hey, at least you were able to be up at one point in the game. Unfortunately, you weren't able to get enough points up. I saw in the highlight film that Grindhard put out, like I said, turnovers, interceptions, sacks. It wasn't looking good. It wasn't looking good.
And Javon from the Rams said DM sizes and where to send them.
Got you. Because first of all, before we even go, Javon, y'all owe me for last year. Okay, y'all been owed me for last year. I should have. Matter of fact, I should have had one of them blue jerseys that you wore at Nationals. How hard I rode, pause for the Motor City Rams last year. I should have a baby blue jersey. I feel in my heart, but I took a lot of bullets.
As far as these two teams go, next week the Indy Bison travel to Racine, and we're like we always say, we're not going to get into the previews of next week because that's for Thursday's show. But the Indy Bison,
when Romeo comes on, I'm definitely going to ask him.
Yeah, definitely travel down to Racine, and the Bills are supposed to go to your alma mater, Chris, and play the Baltimore Lightning. As far as I know, that's still taking place. So that's for them next weekend.
Is it me, Brian, or is it just it's a little shaky? It's a little shaky over there with that whole IFA situation. A little shaky over there.
Man, I can tell you some stuff about the Tampa team up here in Florida, and
I want to believe it wholeheartedly, but just like some like the Beaver thing just happened. You know what I mean? With the Alabama, it's a little shaky.
And they're bringing in teams that are supposed to be like recruitment teams that are going to get hosed. I don't know, man. I don't. I work for the best league in the lower advancement, and I don't consider that league professional. And there's probably a reason why teams dropped out of that league. But hey, that's for another show.
What it is. Moving on, man, Brian. This one caught us off guard. Okay, I'm going to admit, before Curtis gets on my chat, going ham and everything like that. Yes, me and Brian said it was going to be a 40-50 ball. Yes, we did. Okay, we definitely expected. You know what I'm saying? Based on Thursday's preview and everything. At one point, the Hawks, were actually down. Okay, down in this game to the Bears, 8-0. All right, but it's something about Coach Carlos making adjustments, rallying the troops, getting everybody back locked in and focused. They dug in, they made the adjustments, they put off a solid comeback win on the road to move to 4-1 with just 3 games left in the 2A season. We'll break down those standings a little bit later. But I mean, Brian, I'm not gonna lie. Bears, hats off to you. I was sweating bullets.
I was worried. I was worried about the final score because I think somebody might have said that they thought the Hawks lost at one point, and I was like, "What? Are you kidding me?"
I did. I thought they lost, bro. I was about to call Carlos myself personally, and I needed answers. I was going to need answers about this because, again, no disrespect to Ohio Bears. It's my first time hearing of them. Curtis corrected me, said they've been around, for a couple of years, that it's just not their first year. Got some vets on the team or whatever. And they showed that by, again, being up 8-0. I think they were even up at 8-0 at halftime. So they shut out a whole half of the Hawks even scoring any points. And then in the second half, it was a different story. I read a post from Coach John. He said that basically, no excuses, but mental miscues, and basically they imploded against each other in that second half is what kind of caused them to lose the game. And, things like that happen against teams that aren't seasoned. But, like I said, a seasoned team like the Hawks, man, dug in, like I said, and were able to come out with the win. So, hey, man, hats off to Carlos, Amanda, and the crew.
I definitely was shocked when I seen this because we both called a pretty big blowout, a one-sided, high-scoring game for the Hawks, and but the Ohio Bears came to play, man, and they made it a fight for a few minutes, and still, like you said, the Hawks found a way to get it done, and that's what good teams do. They're now sitting at number 1. I mean, they were number 1.
Curtis said he got down all the way to the fourth quarter. It was 8-0.
Wow.
And again, Curtis, I'll be the first one to tell you, like, hey, players mess up. You know what I'm saying? Things happen. I'm glad they got the dub. Still makes me look halfway right. But when me and Brian give these predictions, man, listen, if you don't, we tell the other teams, if you don't, hey, score more. And they try to. You know what I mean? That's what you're supposed to do. If you don't like what we say up here, hey, man, prove us wrong. We have no problem apologizing.
They're still holding on to that number 1 spot in 2A, Chris, and that's going to be an automatic. If they keep that for 3 more weeks, that's an automatic bid to the championship game. Right now, the road to that game goes through Cincinnati, so from the looks of it, that 2A championship game is going to be in Cincinnati, and we might have a game in Cincinnati that will be at. Could that change? Maybe, but I doubt it. Depends on how the other teams finish the season. But one thing's for sure, Chris, if anyone plans on catching the Hawks, they better score more and get those points.
Man, you ain't lying. They better because they up there. Looks like Romero's in the chat. If you can send him a new link, he said. I sent him a link.
Romeo, I got you. I'll send it to you. Hang on, buddy. Hang on. Just give me just a second. I'll get it for you.
Hey, you know the feeling, Brian. You have a child. You have a child. I have a child, and when they make accomplishments, it makes you feel so good inside. Okay, it's like what they say, walking on sunshine. All right, this is one of those moments for me. Okay, Warriors, good goddamn job.
I know it was like a proud dad moment, and I'm sure Commissioner Duncan was proud of this. Warriors came back, got their win over the Longhorns, didn't let them beat them two seasons in a row.
I like that you
said,
put up 32,
and you put
that's
the
what
donut
I really like.
The donut up there.
I like that. You know, you showed that you were the dominant team that day. You know, you just didn't go in there and win 8-0, 60-0. You put up 32 points. Now, I'm gonna tell you, like I also tell my children, you have showed me what you can do, son. I expect nothing less. So these next 3 games, Warriors, and we'll go over the standings in a minute. Brian here. Listen, Phantoms.
You better be scoring those points.
Score more, okay?
Better not be losing any games, because if it keeps going, I mean, if the Warriors keep playing like they are and get some more wins and make it 30-point games, they may be hosting that semifinal game in Lima. So it's going to be pretty interesting. Chris,
me and you, we've been saying this whole time that you know the mantra, you know the motto, and the Warriors, I don't care what you say about them, even in their losses, besides the one where they got thrashed, they've been putting points on the board. El Chapo says Lima is going to lose to the Warhawks next game. You can believe that. You can believe that in your heart. But if they put up points, it still keeps them in the running races in this PFA playoff battle that they got going on right now between FCP. Because, Brian, if I'm wrong, they're what? A couple of points behind?
They are at – hang on. Let's just pull it up.
We'll go ahead and take a look at it right now. Put the strings on.
They are a -9 in the point differential, but their record is not the same as Flag City. So right now, Flag City has them as far as the record goes.
So what we're saying to you is, if the records are tied, we go by the point differential. Lima's only back 1 game. It's only this. They're 2-3. Phantoms are 3-3. Phantoms can lose again, which they don't need to do, because then you really open up the door.
Yep. And then you know what happens when that happens, Chris?
Rest in peace to the Warlocks.
When that happens, the excuses start coming out. So I can't wait for that.
Curtis says, save FCP some money. They'll beat the Warriors in Lima. Hey, it's what Kurt, but it's what they're doing though. This is their bed that they want to lay in. You know what I mean? They don't want to score points. I don't know what to tell you. If you look at their points scored, they've only scored 66 points this season and allowed 64. So I mean,
Flag City plays the Portsmouth Lions coming up, and then the Lima
which
plays
is a
the
good
Warhawks.
team.
Right.
The Portsmouth Lions is a good team. A good team. They just beat who did they just play? Kurt, help me out. Curtis, who did the Lions just play? They won yesterday. Throw it in the chat real quick. I can't remember. We was talking about it earlier today. But they're a good team. Portsmouth Lions is not going to be a pushover team. And that's, again, before the Phantoms creep in here, start talking about, we got the number 1. I know you have the number 1 defense. I get it. Redmond, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Drizzy, I got you. But your offense has to score more. All right? But no doubt about it, boys are heating up at the right time. And the 32-0 score line speaks volumes. So shout out to the Warriors and what they did yesterday. Take a drink for me today. Get back.
Leviathan. They beat the Leviathan. Yeah, I mean, Leviathan.
Yeah. But they got the one. No, okay. I don't want to sound, I don't want us to get kicked off the air when I sound racist. When I sound, But they got the white boy. They got the one. Leviathan got the one big white boy. You know what I'm saying? They got a nice little running game. He's not bad. Now, the other little spots on the team, you might have to work on. But, I mean, it's not too bad. Takari, how the two-way playoffs are going to work is,
I was getting ready to answer.
Oh, go ahead, Brian.
No, go ahead. No, I was getting ready to answer them. Just go ahead.
Oh, answer to go. Oh, yeah. The way they're gonna do it is the first team is gonna get a bye. 2 will play against 3. Of course, 2 is gonna host the game, and then we'll have the championship game after that. So whoever's the number 1 seed is automatically, you know what I'm saying, swept to the championship. That's how that's gonna work. Now in 3A, first is 5 teams, so the number 1 seed is going to get a bye. Then 2 versus 5, 3 versus 4.
Yep.
And then there you go. Then the semifinal, the 1 seed will play the lowest seed, of course, and then
and always the highest seed, remaining.
Yeah, the highest seed remaining, the number 1 seed to play.
The highest seed remaining after the first 2 or four after there's 3 teams left, will host the game in the semifinals, and then the number 1 team hosts the championship game. Let's get on to the next game, man.
Now this was very important, and again another proud dad moment because
this was a lesson, a teaching moment.
Teaching moment, yes. Now what this should teach you is that again. There are levels to this.
Oh, wait, hang on. Duncan said we're wrong. 1, 2, 3 gets by. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
1, 2. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3 gets by. 4 and 5 play. Okay.
That's the first I heard of that, but whatever, boss. We got you.
Rectify it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3 gets then one would get another bye. I'm confused. We'll have to talk about it off the air, Duncan. 4 and 5 play.
The Knights learned. The Knights learned that they definitely their championship was not as heightened as the championship pedigree of the Rams, and also the Rams finally, good God Almighty, scored more. No more low 8 to whatever, 14, 17. 59 big points was put up to yesterday by Future and that offense. And I couldn't be more proud. Couldn't be more proud of my defending champion. Dunk said it's easy. Okay. It's easy to use.
Maybe only 4 teams make the playoffs. I don't know.
No, they all make
anyways.
That I do know.
4 teams.
No, this game. It started pretty good. Not gonna lie, Knights were able to put up 6 points in the first half, but before the half ended, the part that I saw that where the game just got out of hand, it was 13-6. They kicked the ball off to the Rams on the first play that they got the ball. Buddy breaks for like a 70-yard touchdown run. First play. Yeah. Bow. Then they get the ball back. They not able, they don't turn it over the downs, they punt the ball. Buddy runs the punt back. Okay, so it was 13-6. And then we just had this huge 14-point swing because it ended up being, I think it was the score at that time was like 29. So 13, 16. Had a 16-point swing in less than, I say, maybe 4 minutes. So then it became 29-6 at halftime. At that point, start the car up, pass the sticks. It was over. And in the second half, they just came out and kept on hammering and hammering and hammering. And they needed to, like I said, they needed the points. With all these records starting to be tied with undefeated, points are going to matter. All right. Here's in the chat. I'm going to read it out loud so that everybody hears me and hears my voice. It's 5 teams. 1, 2, 3 get buys. Then 4 and 5 play. That leaves 4 damn teams left. That's what the commissioner says. I'm just reading what he said.
I get it now. That's fine.
The number 1 plays the lower seed. 2 plays 3. Then the 2 winners advance to the ship.
Whatever. That works. Down. Whatever works. Okay.
If you got any questions, see the chat. Okay,
Chris, this was the clinic MCR put up 59 points like it was light work. They were clicking on every cylinder. I mean, explosive plays, lockdown defense, and a swagger you could feel through the screen. The Knights got on the board late, but by then it was already a wrap. MCR looked like a team with championship intentions, but man, what a game! 59 points.
Nah, I mean, absolutely. But this was a game that definitely put everybody back on notice because even I was a little bit, I was a little bit worried. I was a little bit scared that, they weren't putting up points. I mean, there really wasn't. You know what I mean? They were winning the games, defensively shutting people down. Love it. But in this league, you got to put up points. And they just weren't able to do that. I knew Future was trying to get back on his feet. I knew he was coming back and things were going to have to, build continuity and things like that. So this is what I wanted to see. This is the Motor City Rams, the champion that I wanted to see. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all had a pick six, Takari. I get it. But Takari, I appreciate your apology too, because you wasn't supposed to let him score. Okay. Y'all be messing up my predictions sometime. I shouldn't let him score. Then I would have been all the way right at least on the donut and the win part. But absolutely great game by the champions, showing their championship pedigree as usual. I loved it. I love that they represented us against a cross-league matchup. So I always like to win those as well. But the final game was the PFA Game of the Week. Nationally, it was the Game of the Week. Destroying himself ascended and came to Detroit, Michigan for this game. And that, we all know, was the Detroit Ravens versus the Racine Raiders. This game. Now, mind you, this game ended. I didn't have it ending like this, Brian. I don't remember what your prediction was. I had it a little closer. I thought it would have been.
I don't have my sheets in front of me.
I thought it was going to be 24-17. I thought the Raiders would have put up some more points, but obviously I was wrong. They were only able to put up 7. And them Ravens, what I was right about though, Brian. What I was right about was them receivers from the Ravens and them bad DBs from the Raiders. Something was going to have to give. And it showed.
I don't have the official stats from the Ravens. I have the stats that the Raiders took for both teams.
I want to say the guy Ashton, the new guy that they just got, wide receiver.
AJ Smith.
AJ Smith, I'm sorry. AJ Smith.
Yeah.
Killer.
He had a ton of yards. Yeah. He was,
like you said, we talked about it yesterday. If we had to say an MVP of the game, give him the trophy. Give him the trophy. He was out there doing work. And shout out to the offensive line for the Detroit Ravens, who handled a fierce front. And I'm not going to lie, Torrence was back there looking real comfortable. Real comfortable like. So that shout out to them for making him feel comfortable, and he was doing his thing. And like I said, Destroying was in the building. I can't wait to see that footage that he got, able to hang out with Mike Cash and the 50 boys after the game. I got one of the pictures, but man, it was great, Brian. It was great.
Definitely a good game. Thought it was going to be a little closer. Thought the Raiders would come out and at least score some more points. And definitely, like we've been talking about all season, there was holes in Superman's armor. That 31-game the win streak ended, courtesy of the Ravens, 27-7. Ravens, they're on a roll, man. Like we've been saying all season, Ravens are on a revenge tour. So they're out to prove a point, and they're trying to keep that going. So. And next week they play
Indy Bison.
No, the Bison go to
the Ravens. Okay.
Ravens play the Knights that the Rams just played.
Oh, what a night it'll be!
That's going to be a rough 2 weeks. 2 weeks in a row. the
You
Cowboy
better say
Knights.
it, Brian. It's gonna be a rough 2 weeks for sure.
But
El
that is
Chapa,
our
El Chapa, your score, not gonna lie, you was closer than me and Brian. You had it a little bit, you had more distance in between. So I give you credit for that. You definitely did. You know, we all went with the Ravens, but you said I think you said 21. I think you said they was going to win by 21. So.
I had it 35-24, and that wasn't even close. But I just guessed on some of them. So, but that's going to do it for our recap of Week 5. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and Rocket Romeo Perry Jr. or Senior. I'm sorry, will be in the chat or in the show with us and talking about yesterday's game and talking about the game coming up. So we'll be right back after this.
What's up? It's the best kept secret. You rocking with the rundown. Y'all keep paying attention.
Hey man, that's the first time I've been able to hear the music because I'm on the Mac now. I'm liking our little new breakdowns, man. I was over here grooving.
Yeah, that one just had some music attached to it already, and I was like, yeah, I'll keep it.
I was over here grooving.
Because I like putting music to stuff, but with the copyright stuff, I don't know how people use music with stuff. So, and
I'm digging it.
My music would not go well with the show because it's angry white boy music. So that's why I always refer to Chris to pick our songs when we need them for the clips and stuff. Because a football clip doesn't go good to metal or metal music or whatever. So
I try to keep us as close to the culture as we can get without overstepping, copyrights. So
yeah. But joining us on the show now, he's been waiting patiently in the green room. I apologize, our talks are a little long-winded, Romeo. But from the Indy Bison, Rocket Romeo Perry Sr. joins us. Romeo, how you been, sir? Oh, we can't hear you. There we go. I think I hear you now. Nope.
Still can't hear you.
You might have to jump out and jump back in. Sometimes it does that to the audio. There we go. We'll see if he can. Yeah, we'll get him back.
But no, shout out to everybody in the chat while we got you here, man. Again, represent yourself, represent your team. Like my man Smooth always says from National Players Association. Tell us where you're from so we can shout you out, who you play for, who you play with, what's your number, what's your position. And please make sure you're sharing this live, share it to all the pages. Share it to your page. Share it to all the group pages. We want as many eyes on this stream as possible as we do these interviews and do these recaps on the shows. We love to talk to you guys in chat, man. So, man, hit us up as always. And
all right, Romeo's back in.
Back up here.
Can you hear us now?
Yep, I can hear y'all. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
We can. How you been, man? How's it going?
Man, I've been good, bro. Blessed, bro. Just resting from the game yesterday.
Yeah, a little sore there, man.
Appreciate y'all having me on here, represent me and my guys.
You look a little sore, man. Was it a battle yesterday? Was it some heavy hitting?
I mean, yeah, it was. Football's always physical, especially when you play in the trenches. But I'm cooling, bro. Saving my energy for this upcoming Saturday. I ain't got a whole lot extra to give out.
Now, when you guys started the game yesterday, you guys started off fast, especially on defense and offensively. How did you feel about you guys' win yesterday and how it played out the way?
I mean, man, truthfully, bro, we left a lot on the table. Like we got a couple in-house things we trying to overcome as far as just the way we approach certain things when it comes to the game. But I'm not gonna say I was satisfied, but I'm not gonna beat us down and say we just played horrible. But I know the expectation for what we can give is a whole lot higher than, more or less the product that we put out, I would say.
Now, as far as the season goes, Romeo, you guys definitely came over to PFA. What's your thoughts on how the season's going so far, especially after the MFOC game where you guys were in a close game against the Cowboys, and but you guys seem to be on a roll since then. And how's the season going in your thoughts?
I mean, of course, you don't make no excuses in football. You lose. But even that game with the Cowboys, I feel like that was one we should have got. You know what I mean? But I mean, just since then, we just trying to continue to right the ship. It's us versus us. So it's like we're not really looking at who we got that upcoming Saturday. We know what we bringing to the table as far as the talent on the team and just the guys we got, competing with one another or whatever. But we're not worried about what the other teams bring. We're trying to make sure if we execute, 100% each week, I don't think we should lose a game to anybody. So I mean, it's as long as we can, get us right, I think that's just gonna serve us the best, no matter what.
For sure.
Now again, you got another juggernaut, and you got to go there, and you know how hard it is to win at Harlech Field. But I mean, you coming in as the number one team now. What are the expectations you guys got going up to go play those Racing Raiders next week?
Hey, it's 1-0 each week. The Raiders is cool, and to an extent, the rankings. We appreciate all of the love, quote unquote, that we get, but we're not really focused on the rankings. This shit week by week. The number one teams lose. I mean, they just had a 35 game win streak or something,
Yep,
and they
31.
end up losing.
31.
They don't say that they an ass team, but I mean, any given Saturday, somebody gonna take that L. You know what I mean? So we not really worried about the rankings and stuff or what we coming in there looking as. In our minds, we the underdogs, and we gonna go out there. We ain't got shit to lose, so we just gonna play. You know what I mean? It's not really about what anybody outside of that got on the Bison jersey think. If we go out there and do what we supposed to do, we know what the outcome should be.
For sure. So you got a lot of players on your team that you play with, but you play with my boy Kayvon Anderson. How do you like being on the field with that guy? What
That's my boy.
is huh?
That's my boy. Kayvon, my boy. We've been locked in for a little minute. That's my guy. We actually pretty close, but I mean, just being on the field, you know what you're getting out of him. He gonna
Yeah,
communicate. He gonna get guys lined up. You know what I mean? Super smart. You know what I mean? He's just always around the ball. I mean, with a guy like that, he been doing it for a second, so his name is known to the point to where more than just the people on his team know what he gonna bring to the table.
definitely.
We just happy to have him, a part of our guys. And like you said, I do. I got, several other guys, especially on defense, on the outside. We got the Marcus Richardsons, the Quiz of the world, the Trey Cordovas, Trio, Stokes, me, Reek, Ron. We got it's several people, on our defense. It's a lot of people, they know certain jersey numbers and certain names just based off what they see on the internet. But when we come out there and line up, it's more than just one person. So, and I think that's the biggest thing that allow a lot of us to be productive. Because you can't just worry about me or you can't just worry about him or him. You got to account for
Right.
11 guys each play, and if you just miss one person, that can be it can get bad.
Now I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. I'm gonna get a little bit ahead of myself. I know we want to take it one game at a time, but what would it mean to you, your teammates, and Indy if you guys were able to go into the playoffs and actually win this thing? What would it mean to you guys?
I mean, that's the goal. That's the goal, bro. When we set out, I mean, yeah, getting natty bids and stuff like that is cool, but a lot of that stuff can be earned, on more of a secondhand nature. We want to get this thing the right way, and that start with winning the league. We honestly, and it's no disrespect, we got some great teams in this league, top to bottom. I ain't got to say too much about them, just their names gonna speak for themselves, but we don't really give a fuck. Like we don't really care about the history between other guys. Every Saturday we gonna come out and play, and our goal
Right.
is to hoist that trophy at the end. And whoever get in our way, we gonna deal with that one game at a time. If it's the Raiders, the Ravens, the Rams, whoever, we gonna take care of that. We know championships ain't won in the regular season, but every game matters. So our main goal is just keeping our eyes on that end goal, and that's getting to the league championship. And when we get there, do what we got to do to win. You know what I mean?
Sure. Far as the coming up game against Racine, have you played there? Have you played in Racine before at their home field?
No, I played against them, so they came here my first year with the Bison, and we played them, and we
That's
lost
right.
28-0. So I definitely know what the talent level is like. I know the atmosphere tag with the talent level, it can get a bit different, but I mean, shit, I feel like I'm big time. I feel like my teammates is big time. So, excuse me, a big time atmosphere. That's something we should be used to.
Yeah,
That's something we should be, expecting to play in. If anything, I feel like our game is gonna elevate. You know what I mean? I know a lot of times good teams can play down to the competition, but one thing I have seen us do, is play up when it was time, and sometime overcome and make that, that more well regarded team look a little bit more inferior than we are. So, I know we well capable of that, and we just gonna come out and do us. Like we ain't not worried about the guys on the other side of the ball. Uh, we like to play dictating football. As everybody have seen, they gonna call plays, but you got to stop us. And that's on both
sure.
sides. You got to stop us.
Now I'll ask you this, and you can give me an answer or not. But we just saw the Ravens hang 27 on their defense, and that was due to a lot of Torrence Webster at quarterback and his wide receivers. You too have Webster at quarterback and Montrez, and definitely have some receivers like Jalen Crenshaw on the team.
Mm-hmm.
You going to hang more than 27 on Racing going up there, or what do you think the outcome of that going to be?
We gonna execute. Whatever execution brings us on Saturday, we just gonna execute. Whenever it's time to do what we need to do. Whether it's and I don't really even outside of this forum, I don't really speak on offense because they do their thing. I trust them. I get them back on the field, and I let them do what they do. But we gonna execute. Like if it's in the run, if it's in the pass, we gonna execute. We gonna play as a team, and we gonna do what's needed. We don't really like to force a whole lot, but we gonna do what we got to do.
Dante, he said
Dante
Chris trying to set you up.
I'm not trying to set him up. I'm just he watched the game.
Cool.
He saw what happened.
Well, we know you guys.
I mean, to that we can't really speak on the Ravens and the Raiders. They got to win over the Raiders. We don't. So I mean, we not worried about more or less what the Ravens did or trying to look into how they how they got their 27 points versus the Raiders 7. That don't mean nothing to us. A win for them isn't a win for us. A win for them is a win for them. We still got to go play. And if anything, we gonna make sure our T's is crossing, our I's is dotted because we know that's a great team. They coming out next week. They probably gonna be pissed the fuck off because they just lost. The streak is over. So we definitely not gonna think they gonna come out and hang their hats and lay down and take another L. That's not what they want to do. If anything, they're ready to start their next streak. That's what they used to. So we just gonna go out and, like I said, we gonna execute. We know what we capable of. I mean, we wouldn't have came to this league if we felt like it's if we can beat these guys or those guys. I haven't seen everybody's schedule, but I would assume we got one of the hardest ones out there. We traveled to the best two teams, quote unquote, Ravens and Raiders. So we ain't ducking no smoke, and we also not worried about what another team coming with. Like that's just not how we doing it. If we gonna win, it's gonna be because who come with our account.
Right. Well, Romeo, we appreciate you jumping on and chatting with us, man. It's good to catch up with you, and safe travels on Saturday to Racine, and best of luck during the game, and we'll talk again soon.
For sure, man. I appreciate y'all having me. Y'all boys stay blessed. Y'all men stay blessed. I mean,
you too.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry. Puppet Master was hitting the wrong button there. That was Romeo Perry Sr. from the Indy Bison. Very humble player, and Indy Bison traveled to Racine to take on the Racine Raiders at home. Torrence Webster's not.
I feel like Grindhard. I had to get you up right. I feel like Grindhard puts them through a media test.
And you know what?
Montrez didn't come. I couldn't get it out of Montrez. I couldn't get it out of Captain Cordova, and now I couldn't get it out of.
I don't think.
Reek, you're next.
A media class. I just think it's the level of players that they have on the Bison. Montrez and all the guys that we've talked to from the Bison are very they just want to focus on football. They try not to do that internet war like some of these teams do, which is a great aspect to have. So
I mean, I don't really want to do an internet war, Brian. It's just like a little, just like a
yeah,
little
but
spicy.
they didn't fall for that carrot, man. You threw the carrot out there. I saw what you're doing.
Like
Dante saw.
That's all. You know what I mean? That's it. Dante
saw.
Okay,
Dante saw.
Thank you. Dante, thank you for letting me know.
Oh, see,
After
you
the
failed
game.
that class. You failed that class.
After this game. Rich CJ,
Torrence
hey, Rich, BTA boys. Hey, too much. I don't even want to talk about what happened yesterday. I need more of that. That's all we need to know. I need more of that. More points. Just like I asked.
Torrence is not in the green room yet, so I don't know. Maybe he's tied up. We may not get him on this week, but we'll.
Torrence, is he tied up or? Gonna make me. I'm gonna send the link to Dante.
No, we don't have that much time to talk, man. No, just kidding, Dante. I like Dante.
Hey,
He's
Dante,
a good
hey man, but no, for real. That's a credit to Grindhard. He knows the kind of man that he wants to be on this to represent his franchise and have on his team. And hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. I just be.
Hey, Dante, I may be coming to see you for a car in the near future. I won't say anything else, but I may be coming to see you for a car.
Well, Dante sells cars.
He does in Indiana, yeah, Indianapolis.
Oh. Shout out to Dante. Go get a car from Dante if you're local.
I think that's what he does. At least that's the last time I saw it.
I hope he didn't just promote a booster.
No, he works for a car dealership. He works for a car dealership. I've seen his posts, and he helps.
He's legit.
Out.
He's legit.
Yeah, he's legit. He's legit.
Okay.
Then
y'all go buy a car from Dante if you're in the Indiana area. All right.
We need a sponsorship reel, man. We need a commercial reel for your car dealership.
What's going on, Dante? Can we?
Yeah.
Hey, I just need a key.
If Racine can have one from those two old guys doing the Aldi's commercial with their Aldi store, we're the Woodmans. We got to sell on the best damn tea this week.
Humbler Nissan. Okay, if you're in the Indiana area, here you go, Dante. If you're in the Indiana area and you in need of a used car, stop by Humbler Nissan and check out my man, Mr. Dante Hart. He'll get you
bankruptcy, repo, divorce. He's got you. He's got a lot of creditors that will work with you. I hope that's true because I'm just giving them all.
That's why y'all need to holler at us so we can help. Listen, when we ask for sponsors, this ain't just for the big sponsors. This for y'all too, right? No. We help y'all out, support y'all business, your local businesses, black-owned businesses, white-owned businesses, any kind of business at this point.
Hey, we know Hubler's pockets are deep, Dante. Get us a sponsorship, man. We'll run commercials 24/7 on this thing.
But, man,
just kidding.
Let's check out these PFA.
Check out these rankings real quick. See, I was right. Bad credit, everybody. Yeah, I'm coming, not because I have bad credit, but I'm coming to see you because I know who you are. We already talked about this a little bit earlier. The rankings. Shout out to Joe Hoyt in the Coach Hoyt in the chat. He's going to come on the show next week. Hopefully, we'll get him on. He hosts the Coach's Corner, great podcast. Talks about how to get into college, how to get. He just breaks down coaching and recruiting and all that. So he does a good job doing that.
If you're a coach, if you have a child that plays, you definitely want to tap in. The Coach Hoyt's podcast. He has some valuable information that you might know and some things that you might not know that you need to know. So
definitely
too much information is never enough information. So tap in with him. But yeah, also Coach Hoyt, shout out to my homeboy Kels. He hooked us up with the new logo. Me and Brian are loving it. We are in love with our two new logos that we have for our two shows now. We got a new intro coming soon. So yeah,
two new intros. We already talked about this. The Hawks are at number one. I apologize to everybody. We were wrong earlier about the way the playoffs work.
Yeah, we were wrong.
The boss corrected us. So I was just going off what we did last year.
So in this instance, we'll explain it again. I'll explain it again. In this instance, by the standings, the Bison, the Ravens, and the Rams would all get a bye. And then the Racing Raiders would then face the Michigan Bills. That would leave 4 teams. The number 1 seed would then play the highest ranked team that is left. And then the other 2 teams will play each other. And then out of those 2 games, we will have 2 teams left. And then we will have our championship game. Everybody got that? Did I explain it correctly? Enough for everybody. But right now, did you ever think, let me ask you this, Brian, and I'm asking the chat too. Did you ever think that we were going to have a graphic that we were going to have to make that said Racing Raiders was number 4?
Definitely not. I didn't think I'd have to move them down for number. I honestly thought they would stay number 1. I don't know if they ever were number 1. I think the Bison.
No, they were number 2. They've been number 2 this whole entire time. No, I'm sorry, number 3. They've been number 3 because Detroit been putting up points.
Well, the Ravens were.
I never thought I would see this type of graphic right now.
Yeah,
I never thought I would see this. I mean, shout out to the Indy Bison, the Ravens, and the Rams for staying undefeated, 5-0, halfway through the season. You know, they had 10 games, so this is the halfway mark. And hey, keep scoring more because that's what it's going to come down to. You want to be in that top 3 to get that bye. You don't want to have to play an extra game if you don't have to. You know, these bodies are frail. Things can happen. People can get injured. And you want to go into these playoffs, number 1, fully healthy and fully assure yourself. All right. So this is getting it's like that we're in the thick of it. We're in the thick, like we're there, Brian. We are in the thick of this, and I am enjoying it.
You know, every season at this point, I'm like, man, it's been a long season, but it seems like it's flying by this year. Like it really does. But
it does.
On to what everybody looks forward to every week is our pick'ems. Chris and I both went 5-0. We almost went 4-1 with that Hawks game. Thank you, Hawks, for pulling that out in the 4th quarter. We appreciate you. Not losing to the Ohio Bears, but I'm still holding on. Chris has beat me by a couple, but I'm still holding on. So
he's sticking around. I feel like he's piggybacking me sometimes. So I got to make him pick first.
Hey, you know what? Whatever, man. There's no proof that I'm piggybacking. You're just mad because I'm not far from behind.
No, you're doing a lot better. You're doing a lot better than last year. Last year, it was no contest. Last year it was no contest. This year, I think you got a little bit better feel of the teams, and you're starting to see the flow.
The league is points based. The league is points based. So it's not a system that we made up. It's just how the league does it. It's points based after a record.
Well,
so
it would be hard even to what you're asking. It would be hard to do strength of schedule because
we don't have all that points stuff.
Like everybody has a hard part of their schedule. Everybody has an easy part of their schedule. Like especially when you play the PFA team. So it's hard to say like who has the harder one versus who doesn't. And then we would have to put like, you know, percentages on how good the team you beat was and all that. We leave that all up to, you know, national, the guys who do the ranks and all that. We go off of your record and the point scored. Your record and the point scored. Dubs and L's, point scored. Points allowed. That's what we do. Keep it simple. So that's why we always say score more, Mr. Montana. That's why we always say that. Because when everybody has the same record, as you can see in the top 3, points matter.
But appreciate the chat joining in and tuning in or chiming in with us. But that's going to do it for our Week 5 recap. And we'll be back on Thursday at 7 p.m. for the rundown. Is that the extra point or is that the regular show?
No, we're doing the extra point right now.
Oh, the extra point right now. See, tell you, man, I'm just off.
I'm getting confused. We'll be back for the regular show on Thursday at our regular time at 7 p.m. Be sure, again, yesterday, I seen a lot of good plays. Please send them to us. We show our top plays.
Soon, not Thursday.
Right now.
Not Thursday.
Jump to our DMs.
Send them to my Facebook Messenger so I can save them. Send them to Chris's Facebook Messenger so he can forward to me. But do not wait until Wednesday night to send us some. Yeah, because I won't have time to edit them.
Send them now. So that way we can put them together. We show them on Thursday. We're a little behind. We have some clips already, but at the end of the year, we're going to put together a big highlight reel of the top plays from the season, and you want to be on it. You definitely want to be on it. So send your top plays clips immediately as soon as we get off of here. Send them to us so we have them. Bug your media team for your team to get them to us if you have to, but by any means necessary, get them to us. All right. And like Brian said, that's going to wrap up week 5 of the PFA. It's going to wrap up week 5 of this show, episode 43, right? 43? 44.
Mm-hmm.
43?
43.
Okay.
43. Thursday.
44 is going to be, and we're closing in on 50, and that's going to be an even bigger show. So again, make sure you subscribe to everything that we have on platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, the whole shebang. And as always, I'm Chris Cousins, Director of Podcasting. My man, Brien Mitchum, the Puppet Master, Director of Media Development. And this has been The Rundown. Catch us if you can.
The Rundown Podcast is always powered by the Players Football Association, the leader in pro advancement sports. We are the PFA, for the players, by the players.